Palliative distribution kicks off for flood victims in Borno State. House of Reps postponed resumption to September 24th. Residents decry transport hardship amid fuel hike price. And on the foreign scene, Cameroon reports 2 mpox death, confirms 6 cases. Hello and welcome to News Update here on Trust Television. I am Lilian Ogazi. And now to stories on flooding. The Managing Director of Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, has said it has already begun distribution of palliatives to affected flood victims in Borno. He made this known at a press conference in Maiduguri. The Commission said it's reaching out to the 18 senatorial districts of the northeastern states impacted by the disaster. The Managing Director of NEDC, Mohammed Al-Khali, disclosed that the Commission has already begun reconstruction of bridges in Taraba, Yobe, Bauchi and Adamas states that were destroyed by flood. He revealed that 200,000 bags of rice, 50,000 cartons of cooking oil, 200,000 blankets and others will be given to the flood victims.
We're also going to release our 50,000 pieces of for women, another pieces, 50,000 pieces so that they can be able to recoup. Children wears, we have about 65,000 pieces. And because it's rainy season, we're also going to release about 20,000 pieces of treated mosquito nets. Maybe people go back to their own residences across the northeast, either by building or reconstructing or rehabilitating their own old houses. And this can be done in collaboration with all the agencies of the federal government, the state government, so that there could be, all of us should be at least in the same book, not on the same page, which is very difficult. At least we have something to go together. And all of us we are going to put as a team to see what can be done to assist these vulnerable people.
Also, the Borno State Governor Babangana Zulum has made cash donations to flood victims and survivors taking refuge at the displaced camps and affected communities in Maiduguri. The governor's first point of contact was the Bakassi camp, where thousands of flood victims are taking refuge. He supervised the donations of cash to families. The governor made similar donations to Yerwa School, where victims are camping, and also toward flood-affected locations along the Shehu Palace, Post Office, and the State Secretariat, which were still heavily flooded. Governor Zulum said more support will be given to victims, revealing that the federal government had already disbursed 3 billion naira as relief fund.
So this morning, what we are here is to distribute the sum of 10,000 naira to each and every heads of household that are affected by floods. And I also want to inform you that a few days ago, luckily enough, we received 3 billion naira from the federal government as flood intervention fund. So we are using this fund to support the communities that are affected by the flood. But inshallah, we shall come as early as possible to give them food items, especially rice and other support needed, to cushion the immediate effect. Then, as soon as the flood recedes in their own area, then government will take their data and then we'll see how we shall provide them with medium and long-term sustainable solution. If you can remember a few years ago, when I was sworn in as the governor of Borno State, I followed all this route and I asked people to bucket on the waterways. But unfortunately, people don't heed to our own advice. People build homes right inside waterways.
Meanwhile, the Adamas state government has issued a fresh flood warning, following an alert from the Nigerian Meteorological Agency urging residents in flood-prone areas to relocate to safer grounds immediately. Commissioner for Information and Strategy, James Elia, announced this during a briefing after the 14th State Executive Council meeting chaired by Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri at the Government House in Yola. NIMET's forecast predicts 3 days of heavy rain starting September 16th, with potential flooding expected in Madagali, Mubi South, Sheleng, Demsa, Numan, and Yola local government areas. In response, the council has directed commissioners to return to their respective areas to raise awareness on flood risk and safety measures. Additionally, the council approved the extension of the Sumnaka water drainage project and the transfer of the upgraded Mubi General Hospital to the Federal Medical Center.
The people of Adamas and the affected local government should get prepared, most especially from the 16th of September, and go to the safer land, whereby their lives and their properties will be saved. The Adamas state government today, at its sitting also, has approved the award of contract for the extension of the completed Samunaka stormwater drainage from FGGC fence to behind Air Force Comprehensive Secondary School, Yola, for the completion period of 6 months, with the total contract sum of 3,942,372,989 naira 33 kobo. The contractors are Tractor Nigeria Limited.
Now moving away from flood matters, the House of Representatives has shifted the date of resumption from its annual recess to Tuesday, September 24th. This was disclosed in a statement by the House spokesperson Rep. Akin Rotimi Jr. on Wednesday. According to him, the announcement follows a rescheduling from the original date of September 17, 2024, as communicated to honorable members through an internal memo by the Clerk of the House, Yahaya Danzaria, on Wednesday. On the directive of the House leadership, he added that as the 10th Assembly resumes, it will continue to drive its legislative agenda, focusing on impactful reforms aimed at national development and fulfilling its mandate to the Nigerian people. The Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Gabriel Dewan, on Wednesday bowed to pressure and swore in the remaining 5 members of the opposition All Progressive Congress APC. The new legislators were sworn in during plenary at the Old Government House in Jos. Ado Musa completes the report.
The legislators were among the 16 lawmakers who were declared winners by the appeal court in November last year, but were refused swearing in by the Speaker, who claimed he was in receipt of a court order directing him to put their inauguration on hold, pending the determination of hearing on the matter. The affected members had earlier accused the Speaker of forcing them to sign undated forms as a condition for being sworn in, but they were reportedly refused to sign in the forms, a development that delayed their swearing in. Daily Trust had reported on Monday last week how former Governor Simon Lalong and other members of his party condemned the Speaker's refusal to swear in their members, accusing the Speaker of acting the script of Governor Caleb Mutfwan, an allegation that the state government had severally denied.
Nothing strange happened. All that happens today is the fact that we just swear in our new members elect, and that's all. And as you know, we were having existing vacancy of 5 seats of the 5 existing constituencies that made up the 24 constituency of Plateau State. And it is a non-fact that it is constitutional that those constituencies must have to be occupied. The little delay was the fact that the other bureaucratic processes were not being done. And as you know, we're on recess, but to show how committed we are as Parliament, how dedicated we are about the representation of people. When I was communicated yesterday that all need to be done has been done, and their names were forwarded to me, I immediately called my members, and to God be the glory, all my members of large and were here today. As you can see, every member was in the chamber, except only 1 out of the 19, and we have sworn in, and by God's grace, the 24 constituencies are occupied. So we're all happy, as you can see in the chamber, everybody's happy.
One of the newly sworn-in members said he would work with other members of the House to move the state forward.
Robust and rich legislation to support the work of development on the plateau. The role of the legislature is actually to provide law and oversight to continue to support the policies of government so as to deliver to the expectations and aspirations of the people of the Plateau. It's true that the five of us make up the full complement of the Plateau State House of Assembly, but it is also true that our colleagues that had been in the House before now had actually been dealing with the business of legislation. So all we will do is to come.
The swearing-in of the remaining 5 members of the House has brought an end to the allegation and crisis between the Speaker and the APC in the state. Adamas, Trust TV News, Jos.
Moving on, Governor Diko Rada of Katsina State has again weighed in on the ongoing security challenges bedeviling the state. Speaking during an interview, Rada specifically said only 32 police officers are patrolling one local government area in the state. The governor, who didn't state which of the local governments, said it comprises of 10 wards and over 200 villages. Now, according to him, among the 32 officers, only 9 guns are available, with just 5 operational. Katsina has been under severe attack by bandits, and some days ago, Governor Rada called on the people of the state to adopt proactive measures to protect themselves against bandit attacks.
Yanzu na gaya maka a cikin garin Katsina State akwai local government ɗin da take da ɗan sanda 32, sannan kuma bindigar su guda 9 ce, sannan mai kyau wadda ake ce ma serviceable guda 5 ce. Yanzu don girman Allah, local government ɗin da ke da ward 10 da ƙauyuka sun kusa 200 ko 300, ya za a yi ɗan sanda 32 ya tsare su.
As Nigeria continues to battle economic challenges such as high inflation, foreign exchange rate, volatility, and others that threatens its growth and stability, many believe that a key contributory factor to these identified challenges is the erosion of values and lack of patriotism by both leaders and citizens. According to this set of Nigerians, value reorientation, which entails deliberately redirecting the attitudes and beliefs of Nigerians towards embracing the virtues of patriotism, will enable the country build a crop of pro-Nigerian leaders. Neil Sampson has more.
City residents, proper value reorientation will ensure the stability of the individual and boost consistency in positive behavior, which transcends to a leadership that places value on nationalism. While identifying the most appropriate gap to target the reorientation campaign, these residents believe that it is not too late for Nigerians to retrace her steps.
Youth should be targeted. Like I rightly said before, youth should be targeted. Why did I say youth should be targeted? Because they are the future. They are the destiny-born set of people right now.
We need to change our values, the way we look at things, our perspective towards doing things. This thing has eaten deep into the fabrics of the nation. So I don't think, I think the whole nation, there shouldn't be any age grade, but though the kids in the primary and the secondary school, maybe if they could, if they can inculcate such values on them from the younger age, probably they won't grow up with this.
I don't think that we are far gone in any sense, because we are largely at the base of our society. We are largely a cultural society and a religious one at that, and all of these nuances come with their own values and orientation for the citizens. Across all board, you can't, there's no one strategy fits all, but value orientation has to be across all board, from your playpen age all the way down to your adulthood, or to a way older age actually. So we can't say that this is the age grade per se, but it is very, very important that the NOA, for example, understands that there is a way to communicate with children, there's a way to communicate with adolescents, and there are ways to communicate with adults, and there are ways to communicate with the aged people as well. So I think if we put all of these nuances into consideration, it becomes a bit easier for us to find ways to communicate with people.
The National Orientation Agency, meanwhile, says it has been strategizing on the best approach that will ensure that everyone is taken along in the value reorientation process in order to make Nigeria a better place for all.
NOA is undergoing a significant restructuring and demonstrating its adaptability to the changing population landscape. Nigeria had a more balanced demographic during the MAMSA. However, in the last 3 decades, the Nigerian demographics have shifted dramatically, with youth 45 years and below constituting 93% of the country's population. This profound shift has not gone unnoticed by NOA, and we are actively adjusting our strategies to effectively engage this new majority.
For any society to experience positive and sustainable growth, positive values must be upheld and encouraged. This is because where social values have decayed and the development sets in. No, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
This is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Coming up, Lagosians lament impact of fuel price on transport business. This and more when we return Tuesday. You are welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is news updates coming to you from Trust TV. Let's take a look at our headline stories again. Palliative distribution kicks off for flood victims in Borno State. House of Reps postpone resumption to September 24th. Now moving on to other stories, Executive Secretary Kwara Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board Abdul Salam Abdul Kadir on Wednesday announced the commencement of online registration for 2025 intending pilgrims. The board's press secretary Jumoke Jimo, in a statement in Ilorin, said the registration was going for those wishing to register through the state. The executive secretary and all intending pilgrims are expected to raise a bank draft of 8.5 million naira after the completion form. Jimo said the executive secretary appealed to all Muslim residents and non-residents of Kwara who wish to perform this year's Hajj to go through the board and adhere to the decision. The recent hike in fuel prices across the nation has sparked widespread concern among businesses, particularly the transportation industry. Commercial drivers, commuters expressed their deep frustration over the price hike as a call on the government to match words with actions and bring relief to the masses. Victoria Tokolo has the situation report as presented from our studio.
Nigerians are decrying the impact of the unresolved fuel crisis in the country, which has caused massive inflation, making everyday life difficult. The situation is particularly challenging for those who rely heavily on fuel for their businesses, especially transport business owners who are finding it increasingly difficult to manage the rising costs. Speaking to Trust TV News, commercial drivers aired their concerns about the fuel price hike and its ripple effects on public transportation.
We are buying it 270 before this man enter tinubu and co, what is called. So the thing affected us a lot. We used to carry, how much we carry passenger before, they don't really understand. If we want to carry passenger, let us say, and they don't increase their salary, all those stuff. And there's not what we want to do is, we go take you like this and see, we take you since morning. This thing, you don't really move, people don't enter. We call it, we are taking this passenger from first gate to high gate, we are taking it 200 and before, normal price. But now, we are taking it 300, and if passenger come, they want to enter, they go to us, they don't go enter. So we take you since morning.
It does negatively. It used to cost about 4,500 to fill up the tank before now. But after the increment, we spend about 8,000. And the worst part of it is that people's salaries are not increased. So, you know, the little money we added because of the increment, people are finding it difficult to pay.
The matter for the fuel, you don't tie everybody. Before, when we dey work, we fuel dey normal. If we just buy like fuel 17, at least we go carry 50 naira, 100 naira. Everybody dey happy, things dey go well. But as you just enter, see something, the price affects the keke. So people need to increase their tea fare. And people when they carry, they need to increase the fare because for them to meet up their target. But some people now they pay 5,000 then for a daily job where they carry keke. Now this thing don't come go up to see and buy na wahala.
Nigerians have been bearing the brunt of the current economic downturn, which has seen record inflation across many sectors. Many are calling for urgent action to resolve the economic predicament and restore stability to the petroleum product. Commuters in particular also expressed their deep frustration, lamenting the government's perceived inability to provide succor for citizens.
Finding difficult to feed. Everything is expensive. Transportation, feeding, anything you buy today, if you go back tomorrow, it's not the same price again. Government, no salary, no increment in salary. and we are paying more. Everything is high.
What government did today, in fact, I don't know which word I can use to qualify it. Government doesn't value that as people that's commoner in Nigerians because they think only their pockets. How do you go and increase fuel without thinking about the commoner in Nigerians? So if fuel increase is affect total everything in Nigeria. When you talk about education, you increase education, you increase NEPA, you increase everything. Then what are we used to survive?
The current situation in the country demands urgent attention from the government at both federal and state levels to mitigate the effects of the petrol price hike and address the underlying inflation crisis.
Now to business. The National Bureau of Statistics says Nigeria's total merchandise trade stood at 31.892 billion naira in the second quarter of 2024. This is according to MBS Foreign Trade in Goods Statistics report for quarter 2 2024 released in Abuja on Thursday. The MBS said the figure represented a decrease of 3.76% over the value recorded in quarter 1 2024 and an increase of 150.39% compared to the value recorded in quarter 2 2023. The export said total exports stood at 19 billion naira, accounting for 60.89% of total trade, while total imports stood at 12.473 billion naira. The report said total exports increased by 1.31% and compared to the amount recorded in the first quarter of 2024 at 19.167.36 billion naira. The report, however, said total imports increased by 10.71% compared to the value recorded in the first quarter of 2024. And now to foreign. Cameroon has recorded 2 deaths while confirming 6 cases of the Mpox virus in the country. The health ministry said Wednesday that there are 40 other suspected cases. The ministry said, however, that the epidemic is not linked to the new, more virulent strain Clade 1B. The World Health Organization declared an international emergency over Mpox 4 weeks ago after a surge in cases of the Clade 1B strain in Democratic Republic of Congo, which spread to neighboring countries. At the end of last month, Mpox was recorded as present in 14 African countries. Hundreds of Venezuelans marched on the Brazilian embassy in Caracas on Wednesday to appeal for President Luis Inácio Lula da Silva's help in securing the freedom of some 2,500 political prisoners. Of the 2,500 people the protesters claim are held in Venezuelan prisons for defying the regime. Some 2,400 were arrested at spontaneous demonstrations in the days after the election. Authorities declared Maduro the victor according to rights groups. They include minors. The opposition says its candidate Edmundo González Urrutia, since granted asylum in Spain under threat of arrest in Venezuela, was the legitimate election winner, and how much of the international community has refused to accept Maduro's claim to a third 6-year term. Brazil and other countries have asked to see a full breakdown of the voting results. And in sports, Kano Pillars FC kicked off their MPFL season in style with an emphatic 3-0 home victory over Ikorodu City FC on March Day 1. The Northern Nigeria football giant will next face a challenging cross-country trip to take on Bayelsa United this Sunday on March 2. During a media briefing in Kano, newly appointed technical advisor Usman Abdalal shared his thoughts on the upcoming fixture and his ambition for the season.
When you look at the geographical location of the country, you see that Katsina is in the far north, and we're going to Bayelsa, so it's a journey of two days. So probably we might have 1 or 2 days to prepare the team and start working again. And as of now, we don't have a solid team that we have an extra players because we are still registering the players, we're still building the team. So we cannot say we have a sufficient players where we can divide the team into 2 to preserve the energy of the players. So I think if we can change the mode of traveling, for example, probably we go by air, but that I don't know. I don't know probably if we can have that help. So you look at Bayelsa last year at half of the season. They are the last position. and they are the highest goal scoring team in the league. People don't notice that. They are more than the team that are scoring there, but they conceded more than every other person. So that is football. Football is about not conceding. That's why I'm happy with the last match we played. We have a clean sheet. The less, I wouldn't be happy if we will score 5-4 over there. I'll be pissed off.
With that, we've come to the end of News Updates here on Trust Television. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms for more news, programs, and documentaries. Thanks for watching. I am Lilian Ogazi. Bye for now.